Hi, what's up? It's Bixie. Today I'm going to be teaching you the pre-knowledge of scripting. So you kind of need to know this stuff before you script. This is the workspace. So the workspace is a parent of the spawn location, and the spawn location is a child of it. So that's basically parent and child, and the game is basically the parent of all of these. The game is basically the parent of all of these services. They're basically called services. And so workspace is basically what shows up in your game. So if I go to home and I click on this little block here to insert a part, it's gonna end up in the workspace. So it's gonna end up in the workspace because it needs to show up. And the workspace is the only place where stuff should show up. So like this is showing up because it's in the workspace. Spawn location is showing up. Base plate's showing up because it's in the workspace. This part's in the workspace. If I put it in any other one, it's not going to show up. Flares is basically this is where when you play. So if I click play right there, when I play, this is going to show up as one of the players. It's just a list of all the players. Inside of them, there's a ton of other stuff that we will get into later. And yeah, so that's basically just players. It just keeps a track, and when I leave, keeps track of all the players, and when I leave, yeah, I'm not there anymore. So lighting is basically just how the world works, or like looks. So if I up the brightness, it ups the brightness in the game. So yeah. You can change a bunch of stuff in here. You can make it for like a horror game. You can add fog and stuff like that. So yeah, that's very useful. Material service. This is to change the material. So if I don't know, if I have this part and it's like metal, then this will look like metal, right? And I can change these to be different. So yeah, I can have different packs of different materials. Replicate first. I don't really use this that much. I think this is for the server, like actually, I don't know. I don't really use this though. I don't know. I forgot what it's for. But yeah, I'll probably tell you later. So replicated storage. Replicated storage is usually for remote events. We'll get into that later. In the later tutorial. So replicated storage is used for events. And just storing things. So if I want this part to be stored somewhere, I would usually put it in replicated storage, and I can with the script I can take it out and put it back into workspace to show up. So if I don't want something to show up right now, I can put it in replicated storage, and then when I do want to show up, I can put it in workspace. So yeah, that's what replicated storage is, basically just for storing stuff in remote events. Server script service is basically just for regular scripts. So if I press the plus button, and this is to add like a child to one of the stuff, to the parent, and what you usually add in here is just a main script, just a regular script. So yeah, that's just basically what server script service is, just for storing regular scripts. Server storage, this is just basically replicated storage, but for server, like if you need to just store in the server, you can use this as well. Just basically, it's just for the server. I'll probably get into depth with that later. All right. Starter GUI. So this is where you want to put anything that shows up on the screen. So if you've ever seen like a shot button, you click on it, it shows up the shot. It's in the starter GUI. So I can just quickly put in something here, and then here I have GUI. Starter pack, this is basically just for putting tools and stuff in there, and whenever you play the game, it will automatically show up. So if I get a flashlight from the toolbox, and then I can put it in starter pack, and basically whenever I play the game, it will show up in my backpack, or basically my inventory. And you can put it in the starter pack at any time, I think, and it'll show up. Actually, I don't know though. Alright, never mind. Alright, so starter player. This is just basically whatever. So basically inside starter player, starter character scripts. This is where you put scripts that you want to be in the actual character. So the difference between a player, so there's a player and character, right? The difference between player and character is player is basically this guy, and then is basically in players with all this stuff, and then character is just your actual model, like your character in the game, your actual person that you control. So yeah, that's the difference. So if you want scripts to be in your character, then you put it in starter character. If you want to be in your player, then you put it in starter player. Teams. This is basically if you want to add teams. So in my game, so if I want to be like red team, I can add that, and I can make it red. And yeah, so now I have teams. Now I'm on the red team, and yeah, it's basically just say that's usually what teams are for. Sound service. Don't really use this that much, but you can do it for like war games or something, or like when you're in a big place or something. You could change the type of sound and all that. Text chat service. So this is if you want to like change how the chat works, just how it looks. So yeah. So what's next is probably going to be properties. So you saw right there with the part I changed it, the material to metal. So I changed it to metal through the properties, and with scripts you can also change the properties. It doesn't have to be through this. You don't have to actually do it through this in order to change it. You can do it through scripts as well, and that's what we'll be learning. Like basically, maybe 2 scripts or 2 tutorials later. So you can change the color of this. So if I want it to be green, I can change it to green. If I want this to not have a shadow, so if I move this up, I don't want this to have a shadow there, I can just click cast shadow off. This is called the Boolean. It's basically just a true or false, and you can check that on and off. This is true, this is false. So also this is also another way to change the color, so I can also change. This is more like specific. If you really want a specific color, then you can change it like that. Material variant, I don't really use this. I don't know what it's really used for, I just don't really use it. Reflectance, this is how much it reflects off, so you can see it reflects the sun. So yeah, that's just reflecting. So if you want like, I don't know, glass or something, you can use that. Transparent, if you know what transparent means, basically what it just means. Just the more transparent it is, the more see-through it is. Archivable, I don't really use this. I think it's just like it saves. And basically the part saves whenever you close or something. Whenever you close out the game. Locked, I think this is like, you can't change the parent or something. I don't know, you don't really use that either. Transform, so this is if you want to change the size. So if it says 412, if I want to change it to 555. There, it's 3 values. This is the X, this is the Y, and this is the Z. So 111 will be 1. If I want it, a lot of X there. Position, you can change position 111. It will change where it is located. And yeah, it's basically almost it. I mean, orientation, this is XYZ as well. So orientation changes by 90. It will change or rotate by 90 degrees. And can't collide. So if you don't want this, if I don't want to be able to touch the part, so I put can't collide equals false. I set the can't collide equals false. And next, what you want to make sure if you want a part to not like fall through the map or just fall down, and you want it to stay in the position it is, then you anchor it. So now this is anchored. And now I can touch it. It's staying there, and if I can't touch it as well. So yeah, that's basically can't collide and anchored, and that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, you can change the shape if you want as well, through shape. So yeah, alright. So yeah, that's basically just knowledge spawn location, just spawns character. So if you ever want a certain spot to spawn the character. You can add in a spawn location. If you want to add in something to a service, then you click the little hover over it, click the plus button, and then you can scroll through all of this here. And yeah, I mean, oh yeah, and if you need to add something, you saw how I added that flashlight. If you need to add something, just be a little bit careful because there can be scripts. There can be viruses in the free models, but these are free models. You get them through View, Toolbox, and also make sure your thing looks like mine a little bit. Make sure Explorer is a little bit more, you know, stretched out. This is how I like it. And properties a little bit more stretched out. And then output is on as well. So if you go to View, and there's not an output here where it says base plate, recovery, and all that. If it doesn't say this, you need to have an output because you need to see if there's any errors or something. This without outputs for any errors. You can just clean it up by doing that as well. So yeah, if there's any errors, then this will show up in your script. And if there's anything that you print or warn, which we'll learn in the next tutorial, then this will show up as well in the output. Alright. So yeah, that's basically it. You can scroll through all this other stuff, plugins, you can add your own plugins. I just have these plugins, they're pretty nice. Avatar, you can insert an avatar or do stuff with it. And model is just like changing parts and doing all that, just parts. And so yeah, that's basically it. Alright, bye.